Come on in, come on in, come on in. Got a little bit of game to drop on you fellas again. And right now, like I said, this is the season in which you should be in your zone, your pocket of focus, because it's so many different conversations taking place simultaneously, from the Russell Wilsons to the Will Smiths to the Benzinos. It's never ending. And I've always told you, for those who know, there is always something in the media to keep you entertained and keep you medicated and keep you distracted from your goals and distracted from your priorities. Again, for those who frequent Facebook, which is a lot of us, the Facebook is one of the most addicting, longest behaviors that one has probably endured. If you look at Facebook's tenure and their start to now, you had to go to the computer lab when it first came out. If you didn't have a computer in your own home, if you were in college, it was initially designed for college students. But Facebook is an interesting place where you can find a lot of interesting conversations, perspectives, and comments about trending topics. The most recent one I've noticed was the question that one of my buddies, he asked a question about if you see Russell Wilson in the thumbnail, if he was just, you didn't know who he were, you didn't know who he was, he just walked up to you trying to shoot his shot. And one of my guys called me and I went and looked at the comments to see all of these women blatantly lie through their teeth was nothing short of amazing. Because I tell you, most women are the pick-me's that they quote unquote hate. If you line something up that plays into a woman's ego, her self ordained value, if you hype or big that up, she's going to echo that loud as hell. She's going to be front row with bullhorns applauding and clapping. But if you hold her to the fire of her own choices, or if you reveal her own delusion to her, she'll walk through fire and brimstone to get you canceled. This is to get you ostracized, demonetized, whatever the case may be. You see our brother Tommy Sotomayor dealing with this over the years, to where women and men alike will walk through the gates of hell in order to get him canceled, because he's holding them accountable and he has so much content that shows their overall behavior and their nature. But this is why I tell you, women will go, that's why they scour the internet streets to make sure the appropriate message is being conveyed to men, because at this point they know their number has been pulled. This is why their delusion is so grandiose. Delusion is indeed a disease. I just seen a chick post. She's going to keep getting finer, hotter, finding more peace, etc. And she's a few years away from 50 years old. Telling the world she's going to get finer as she approaches 50. Delusion is a disease. But back to the initial topic with Russell Wilson and his image. I'm not a Russell Wilson hater. He's a good man. I'm not going to demonize him for choosing Sierra. Obviously, it worked for him. It's working for him, despite the few disrespectful hiccups she had when she was going back and forth with Future on the internet and making these posts showing her emotions toward her disdain for her baby's father, which a man of Russell Wilson's value should never be in a stepdaddy role anyway. Who's the real prize? So, people will argue up and down that she's the prize in this scenario. The man that bought her masters for her because she couldn't afford it. These women will argue that she's the prize to him and not him to her. But now all of a sudden you see these women talking about they want a Russell Wilson. They want a fool. They want a rich simp fool that's going to put her on the highest pedestal to outshine her friends. To see these women lie in droves in this fashion, talking about I want me a Russell Wilson. I want the lame guy. I don't want anyone. And a lot of the women that I noticed that were speaking like this were women that were well over 30 years old, 35. A lot of these women were 40 plus, approaching 40, 40 plus, and so on. So you ask, well, why is that? What's that correlation? What does that translate into? Well, that translates into these women say they want a Russell Wilson after they done fucked all of the futures, which is how they end up getting to Russell Wilson. If you notice, when a woman gets older as she dates, she downgrades a lot. She doesn't normally win, but the possibility of her hitting the jackpot at 45 years old, thinks she's going to get a 36-year-old alpha, loyal, faithful husband is the most delusional expectation I have ever seen. Because they think the men don't know how they got to be 40 plus and single. I told you in plenty of videos that women think that they're smarter than men. They think that they're smarter, especially black. This is only for you black men. For black men in particular, black women and other women of other races, they'll mask theirs a little bit more. But black women think that they're smarter and better than most, if not all, of the black men whom they encounter. If they meet a man of means, they're going to still think that they're smarter. They're going to try to use him, which I see this all the time. I've seen women build businesses off fake relationships, putting their man on Facebook, selfies in the bathroom. I tell you, how your woman posts you, it speaks a lot to how she feels about you. Posting you in the bathroom, brushing your teeth and doing all of that sucker shit, that's not, pay attention. Class is in session. That is not a sentiment of admiration. That is letting the world know that this is my beta. You can't have him. I got me a beta. You need to get yours, because she has to show the world that she has someone, which is why they post their men that they date with big ass emojis over their faces. Picture me posting my bitch, putting a big ass emoji on her face, because I don't want the world to know who she is. I just want the world to know I got someone. Delusion is a disease. But these women talking about, I want me a Russell Wilson, they've already fucked the futures. And they know damn well if he was a man dressed like Russell Wilson is dressed in this picture with this posture, were to walk up with him, they haven't seen what type of car he drives. They don't recognize him from TV. They're going to look at him like a damn fool. But this is the lengths that women will go to advertise. They don't have any morals. They will tell you a bald-faced lie with no remorse or emotion about it. They will lie through their teeth in order to market themselves to a different market. Because and you notice after about, women watch these posts and they wait till about 30 other women comment on it. And then they come in and say, well, I'm like that too. That is pick-me behavior. Man, again, for a woman, nothing is wrong with being a pick-me. We just know that this is not you. You're trying to get chose by a man you do not qualify for. You want a good man after you have either ruined good men or have been ruined by bad men, because that was your taste. Tell you a story, and I don't even really want to speak on this. I got some hate mail a few days ago, right? And I got an idea on who it is. She sent me a long message from one of these Google WhatsApp numbers talking about, you fumble great and outstanding women, and you're going to be miserable if you don't, basically gaslighting me. Just to break this down, this is a feeble final attempt to trigger an emotional response, because she may have thought I was going to go through the investigative process to find out who this is or what number. I can tell the Google numbers, because, I mean, who can't? If you're in a business lane or entrepreneurship lane, these Google numbers that you can download for your web store, your business, virtual office, etc. But she sent me this gaslighting text thinking I was going to say, who is this? And she made it ambiguous enough to mask the identity. But the way the message was typed, the word usage, the way it was written, I pretty much can tell who it was. But not to expound on that. But this goes to show you, this is a person who, again, this is me speculating. It's two people, I think. One is about 2 years old, almost 3. The other one is about 6 months. You must ask yourself, what type of woman would wait either 2 years or more, 6 months or more to write that you haven't had any contact or any interaction with, would write such a toxic and evil-spirited message to an ex? Women need a lot of help. And you don't want to wait too long to figure this out. After so many attempts, you would know that, well, let me look at myself. Is it me or is it them? In most cases, I would put it back on the man, because you have to ask yourself, why am I getting, such treatment? Not from the text message, but just overall treatment to where it would cause you to leave. Why are the women not behaving in the manner in which is favorable to the relationship? And this goes back to, women do not want to be treated like a good woman if she knows she is not a good woman. A woman's personality and character is going to reveal itself. And if you look, let's use the Will Smith again, as this is a great teaching aid for men that are looking to date or looking for a certain perspective on how to move forward with the woman they want to get rid of or they're dealing with, which is trouble to them. Just look at how he explained planning her 40th birthday, and she threw it back up in his face in order for him to cancel the campaign, because deep down she knows she's done things that make her undeserving. A woman who is undeserving of certain treatment is going to buck. She's going to buck on you because that's her way of saying, stop treating me like that, because I'm not worthy of that treatment. That's what that means. So you see the women coming back and say, hey, I want a Russell Wilson. They're basically saying, I had a good guy, give me another chance, because they say it with a certain amount of enthusiasm or conviction. Damn well, if these type of men were to walk up on you at any place, any time, you would not give him the time of day. Delusion is truly a disease. When you see women come out in the packs, in the hundreds, to lie through their fucking teeth, you must understand there's a problem. There is a problem that needs correction. And men have to be in uniform, because, again, what you do affects the next, because conversation spreads like wildfire. She's going to tell her friends, hey, I did this and he didn't even catch on. I was just with my sneaky link getting skeeted in and skeeted on, and he ate me out the same night. These are the ghost stories that a lot of men hide. I just ate my bitch and this bitch smells like another man's nuts. This is where you are today, gentlemen. You have to make a choice. You can't have both at the same time. You have to take the time, put yourself in a position of power, only deal with women from a position of power. Not trying to be their equal. Hey, man, me and my wife. Yeah, me and my wife, I got my wife. My wife don't touch a bill. I think I'm going to do the Psycho Beta Part 2 and follow up to my wife don't touch a bill, Lord, though. My girl ain't touching no bill. The self-proclaimed trick, Proud John, to where he takes care of every bill that comes through the door. But again, women will buck on you if they know they're not deserving of the treatment and the affection that you're giving them. They're going to buck on you, and they're going to do everything to stop you from doing it. They're going to create an argument. They're going to create a problem out of nowhere, because that is their way of telling you to stop treating me good, because I do not deserve it. But I may do a follow-up to the Russell Wilson again. You see this picture floating around. Just take a look at the comments, and you see the conversation. You see these women talking about, I want me a Russell Wilson. I want me a lame guy. do a background check, do a profile run on these women and see their age, their economic status. Normally they got kids by a man or different men. Now all of a sudden they want a Russell Wilson. And it's simply because they fucked all the futures, therefore fucked up their future. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Day Master.